Hey guys, first off, I'd like to apologize for any blurriness or if the color just randomly changes. I'm not really sure what's going on tonight, but my camera is kind of being weird. Like, jerkishly weird. But anyway, I've decided I'm going to do a video on my Kiora deck, this week, and do a surprise video next week before I do my dual deck opening. So, just for the basic theme of this deck, it's 1/1 counters. That's +1/+1, not minus, but yeah, you'll see in a little bit. But it's it's a little bit of everything that involves monstrous, overpowered, +1/+1, some mana ramp, and regardless of what you're thinking, it's not green-blue. It's green-blue-black because of, well, I'll show you why after I get into it a little bit more. Alright, so first card in the deck is the Planeswalker, Kiora the Crashing Wave. Her +1 prevents all combat damage that would be dealt to and by target permanent and opponent controls. Use that for a while and then use her -5 to get her emblem, which gives you a 9/9 Kraken at each of your end steps. The Krakens are just these really big, really overpowered tokens. This is the card that makes it a blue-red, not red, blue-green-black deck. Corpsejack Menace. It doubles the number of 1/1 counters you would put on your creatures. So, let's say you used Nimbus Swimmer, which I've got 3 of in here. You tap a blue, a green, and then X. So let's say we tap 3 for X. Corpsejack Menace would cause it to be 6 1/1 counters on it instead of just the 3. We've got Kiora's Follower because it's blue, green. You tap 2 for it, and then you can tap this to untap target permanent. We've got Simic Sky Swallower. I'm not going to explain every card in this deck unless it has a specific theme. Just like I did, and I think my with my Defender video, I didn't explain every Defender, unless it was there for a reason. So, Simic Sky Swallower basically fits into that. It has no specific use, just it's there because it's strong. And a fairly low cost for what it does. Got Shamble Shark because it has Evolve, which means when it would get a counter, Menace would double it. We've got a Voral of the Hullclade because he doubles counters that are already on the field. So, I think maybe if he doubled something... Yeah, if he doubles something, Corpsejack Menace will in turn double it again. So, playing on the Nimbus Swimmer, tap 3 for X, and the original thing there, if you double it with Voral, it becomes 12, but since you're putting new counters on it, Corpsejack Menace would double it again to 24. So that's really not bad at all. But it gets better, trust me. We've got Plasm Capture, which is a counter spell that then gives you mana based on the countered spell's converted mana cost. Mystic Genesis counters creature spells, and then gives you an XX green ooze, where X is the spell, which is, sorry, still not really used to talking on camera. X is the countered creature's mana cost. Alright, that's all for the multicolored cards. Oh, by the way, this is the ooze token. Now onto the green, we've got Gnarled Pack. For a green and an anything, it has multi-kicker. For every one in green you tap, it gets a 1/1 counter. So, again, with Corpse Jack Menace, that could get really bad for your opponent. Nemesis of Mortals. It costs 1 less to cast for each card in your graveyard. Not one colorless left, so less. So you still gotta pay the 2 green no matter what. And he has Monstrous for a total of 7 and 2 green. Its effect affects that. Its effect affects that too. It costs 1 colorless less to cast for each card in your graveyard. So you're still gonna have to pay the 2 green again, but it gets 5 1/1 counters just with its own effect. We've got Mendering Tower Shell, because in a little while you'll see why we need so much Island Walk. Hydra Broodmaster, because it has Monstrosity X, but it's monstrous for double X. And when it becomes monstrous, you get XX green Hydra creature tokens, and obviously X is whatever you tapped, and this is the Hydra token. It just looks like a baby of Broodmaster, so nothing really overly special about it. We've got Stand Together, which gives 2 different creatures 2 1/1 counters. We've got Ravenous Lucracoda. It looks like a snake dog. Lizard dog. I don't know what it looks like. It's got Monstrous 3 for a total of 7 mana. Its initial cost is only 4, so that's... yeah, that one's probably not going to get much use. It's just there in case we need it. Snake of the Golden Grove. A total mana cost of 5, tribute 3. If your opponent chooses to pay tribute, it gets 3 1/1 counters. If not, you gain 4 life. And it's a 4/4, so either way, you've still got a really good card. Naya Soul Beast. It has Trample, and when you cast it, both players reveal the top card of their library, and this card gets X 1/1 counters, where X is the total combined mana cost of both of those creatures. Both of those cards, sorry. We've got Slime Molding, which just gives you an XX ooze. X is in the mana cost. Nethian Asp, which looks like it could be more of a Hydra considering 2 heads. Honestly, I've never seen a snake with 2 heads anywhere. Except that's... never mind. Story behind that. But not an important one. It has Monstrosity 4 and Reach. Swarmborn Giant. It's not the best. It's only in here because it has Monstrosity 2. And when it's monstrous, it has Reach. But other than that, it's fairly useless because as soon as you take damage, it's destroyed. Now, onto the blue, we've got 3 Coral Barrier, which gives you a squid token. If anyone can explain that to me, please do, because other than the fact that squids live in coral, how does Coral Barrier, of all cards in this deck, or in the entire game itself, give you squids? I can think of so many other cards that should do that instead of a chunk of coral. Like, I don't know, literally anything in this deck could give you squids more than a coral could. But anyway, that's not the point. This game is not supposed to be logical. Kinda. Anyway, Shipbreaker Kraken for 8 mana. It's got Monstrosity 4, and it taps up to 4 of your opponent's creatures. that do not untap during their next untap step. Oh no, sorry, they don't untap them for as long as you control Kraken. All right, that makes it even better. Inkwell Leviathan. This is basically a blue baby Eldrazi minus the Annihilator. 9 mana for a 7/11, Trample, Island Walk, and Shroud. It's an artifact creature too, so that's kind of cool. You don't see very many artifacts that have colors in their mana cost. We've got Scourge of Fleets, which when it enters the battlefield returns each creature your opponent controls with toughness X or less to its owner's hand. X is the number of islands you control. And as you can see, this deck does require a lot of islands, so, you know, there you go. Clinging Anemones. Defender and Evolve. I already explained why Evolve is good, so I'll leave it at that. Tromokratus, because, well, I know I said I wouldn't explain every card in here, but this one is only in here because it's a Kraken, so that's really all the explanation he needs. This next card is why there's so much Island Walk and or flying. Stormtide Leviathan. Island Walk. All lands are islands in addition to their other types. Creatures without flying or Island Walk can't attack. That's a good way to shut down any deck. Unless your opponent's using dragons. Or birds, or thopters, or anything. It can shut down most decks. Whelming Wave returns all creatures to their owner's hands except krakens, leviathans, octopuses, and serpents. That should be octopi, but not gonna correct everyone's grammar. Thrumming Bird, because when it deals damage, combat damage to a player, you can put another counter on a card that already has a counter on it. So, if you have a 1/1 counter on Stormtide Leviathan, Thrumming Bird will give it another one, and then Corpsejack Menace will double that one, so it gets 2 instead. The last blue card is Sealock Monster. It can't attack unless defending player controls an island. Thus, the Stormtide Leviathan works. It's got Monstrosity 3, and when it becomes monstrous, target land becomes an island in addition to its other types, so even if you don't have Stormtide, you can use this one's own effect to make an opponent's land an island. So, hold on just a minute, I'll be back in a little bit. And I'm back. This is the only split card in the deck. It's Give and Take. It's a fuse card, so you can use either of its effects. Either put 3 1/1 counters on target creature, or remove all 1/1 counters from target creature you control, then you draw that many cards. I would only use it for the give, because the 1/1 counters, Corpsejack Menace, blah blah blah. Now, to generate the mana we need... Oh, hold on, there's another card with color before we get to the artifacts. Wandering Tomb Shell. Due to that whole Sarkhan goes back in time to save Ugin, stop Nicol Bolas, whatever. I don't know, I haven't read the whole story, I just know some of it. Everything in modern Tarkir is different. So Mendering Tower Shell then is Wandering Tomb Shell now. It doesn't have any effect, and it's pretty useless for doing anything except defending. It's a 1/6 for 4 mana, so, you know, have that one and the other one in here. Just have both forms of the same turtle. Why not? Now, back to the artifacts. To generate the mana we need, we might not always have the exact land. So we've got Simic Keyrune, which can give you a green or a blue, or become a creature. And we've got Sultai Banner, which gives you green, blue, or black, or you can tap one of each of those and sacrifice Banner to draw a card. We've got Yavimaya Coast, in case we need that one more, whatever color you get from it. And Llanowar Wastes, because it can generate black or green, like Coast can generate green or blue. We've got Dimir Guildgate for black and blue, Golgari for black and green, and Simic for green and blue. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 islands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And 11 forests for the basic land. So, there's that. Like I said, the whole theme of the deck is the generate the +1/+1, so you can double them with Voral of the Hullclade or Corpsejack Menace. There are cards like Doubling Season, I don't remember the others right now, but they also double 1/1 counters, but they're kind of pricey. Doubling Season now, I think, is at $25 at the lowest. So that's definitely not one that I can get. Most of this deck was made just with Dual Decks Elspeth versus Kiora. I don't know where I put my deck box, so these are just going to go on the table for now. It's not like I can't keep up with anything. So anyway, that's all for this. I hope you enjoyed this video and will enjoy the next one. And I don't know. I gotta figure out something to say at the end of my video, so laters.